You are commanding a room of executives. You are optimizing multi-million-dollar budgets. You are a master of strategy. And then your phone lights up. Just his name on a locked screen. Instantly, your prefrontal cortex goes dark. You freeze in the middle of a board meeting, your heart hammering against your ribs, your nervous system entirely collapsing over a man who gives you absolutely nothing but breadcrumbs. You call this intense, undeniable chemistry. The LuhoSoul sage calls it what it clinically is, a trauma bond. You are a highly intelligent, fiercely capable woman who is utterly chained to a ghost. You keep attracting the exact same emotionally bankrupt man, just wearing a different face, hoping that this time your sheer willpower and intellect will force him to stay. It will not. Because you are not in a relationship. You are caught in a shadow bond, functioning not out of authentic love, but out of an anxious blueprint that actively demands you earn the affection of a void partner. To stop bleeding out your executive energy and your life force, you do not need more patience. You do not need better communication skills or another couples therapy session. You need clinical precision. You need brutal, uncompromising truth. We are going to dismantle the exact karmic relationship signs that keep you trapped in this chaotic cycle. Let us strip away the romantic illusion and examine the cold, hard neuroscience. What you are experiencing is not a failure of your formidable intelligence. It is the brutal, clinical reality of an amygdala hijacking. When you engage with an emotionally unavailable man, your brain is subjected to intermittent reinforcement. This is biochemical warfare. When he eventually offers a scrap of validation, your brain is flooded with a massive, intoxicating surge of dopamine. It is a transient euphoric high that masterfully mimics genuine intimacy. But the exact moment he inevitably pulls away, that dopamine violently plummets. It is immediately replaced by an agonizing spike in cortisol and adrenaline. This sudden neurochemical deficit induces a state of visceral, physical panic. You are experiencing severe dopamine withdrawal. You must understand, you cannot outthink this with logic, because it does not exist in the realm of logic. It is hardwired into the autonomic pathways of your nervous system. Your brain perceives this toxic attachment as a mandatory condition for survival. This violent oscillation between anxiety and relief physically exhausts your adrenal glands and completely erodes your baseline. If you are researching narcissistic abuse recovery, you must first accept that you are fighting off biochemical withdrawal symptoms manufactured by a partner who deliberately weaponizes your empathy. Your intellect is attempting to rationalize his behavior, drafting eloquent excuses for his neglect. But your body is simply screaming for neurochemical homeostasis. Now that we understand the biology, we must map the esoteric framework, your karmic architecture. The Luho neural engine identifies your suffering not as a cosmic punishment, but as a rigid, highly predictable behavioral algorithm. You are perpetually paying emotional interest on a principle of abandonment that you never actually consented to inherit. This is your karmic debt. You are drawn to a void partner, a hollow entity whose emotional unavailability acts as a perfect, devastating mirror to the unhealed wounds of your past. Your high-functioning mind is hijacked by a primitive psychological need to fix the unfixable. This dynamic is the core mechanism of a shadow bond. It is critical to differentiate between a trauma bond versus twin flame connection. A twin flame elevates your sovereignty. A trauma bond parasitically drains your life force to sustain a dynamic that yields absolutely zero reciprocal value. Why do you stay? Because your unintegrated trauma has calibrated your nervous system to feel secure only within the familiar territory of emotional starvation. Peace feels terrifyingly boring to your body, while the frantic, exhausting pursuit feels exactly like home. This is where targeted shadow work becomes non-negotiable. Until you rewrite the code at the root of your psyche, your anxious blueprint will continue to seek out environments that replicate your deepest agonies. You are mistaking your highly activated nervous system for a soulmate connection. The era of rationalizing your own suffering ends right now. You cannot journal, intellectualize, or empathize your way out of a physiological hostage situation. You must deploy ruthless decision intelligence to sever the shadow bond at its absolute root. This requires the immediate implementation of non-negotiable behavioral protocols. The Luho neural engine prescribes absolute, total somatic withdrawal as the only cure. Initiate the total blackout. No texts, no social media surveillance, no casual check-ins. You cannot heal a trauma bond while actively consuming the poison that caused it. When the cortisol spikes and the midnight panic sets in, you do not reach for him to soothe the burn. You sit silently in the fire. You let the biochemical withdrawal wash over you, recognizing the sheer anxiety not as a signal to fix the relationship, but as the literal physical sensation of the karmic debt finally leaving your body. You must command your physical environment, your digital access, and your energetic boundaries with the exact same cold, tactical precision you apply to your most critical career milestones. Neutralize the void partner in your mind. Strip them of their mystical status. Treat every urge to reconnect as a data anomaly. Understanding your anxious attachment triggers is entirely useless if you do not actively starve the addiction. Reclaiming your life is an aggressive, calculated reclaiming of your neurobiology. Every text you send, every excuse you articulate, and every desperate attempt to seek closure from a void partner is an active, deliberate betrayal of your own emotional sovereignty. Breaking this cycle is the ultimate act of strategic defiance against your own programming. True peace requires forcing your anxious blueprint to submit permanently to the sovereign authority of your highest self. You are a high-achieving woman. You optimize everything else in your life. It is time to optimize your romantic portfolio with clinical, unfeeling logic. Do not guess your energetic alignment. Do not rely on hope. Calculate it. Go to LuhoSoul.com right now and run the $39 Soul Blueprint Calculator diagnostic. The Luho neural engine will expose the exact coordinates of your karmic debt and provide the empirical framework you need to confirm this man is nothing but a systemic error in your life. This is your ultimate permission slip to cut ties. Stop paying a debt that isn't yours. Execute the diagnostic. Execute the behavioral protocols. Amputate the connection and step into absolute emotional sovereignty. The link is in the description. The choice is yours.